Hello world. My name is Sabrina Fritts and welcome to my backyard. I live in Colorado on top of a mountain and live a life that I consider to be one filled with joy, love, appreciation, connection to nature, wisdom, and ease. And it hasn't always been that way. In fact, I used to struggle and have a lot of stress in my life. And I'm here to remind you who you are. Bring this message forward to humanity. Help people during this time of uncertainty and struggle. Recognize who they really are so that they can move forward with more joy and ease and step into this change with grace, without fear, without limitations, without anything holding us back. And thank you for this opportunity that you provided, Lilou. Quite frankly, I feel like you lit a fire under my butt. This call to action was speaking directly to me, to my heart, and I thank you for this opportunity to bring forward messages that might help others where they're at in the world today. So although I couldn't continue video recording from my mountaintop as I had hoped with all the wind, I hope you enjoy the message I share with you, and just know that nature continues to be in my heart and in my soul. And I got distracted. There's a squirrel. Squirrel! You know, I've been approaching this video, this message to humanity, in my head and rolling it for several days ever since I first saw Lilou post the video about your message to humanity, and I lit up immediately and felt like she was speaking directly to me, as I'm sure others felt as well. And as soon as I stepped into that idea of creating this video and going, okay, this is your next logical step, this is for you, this is what you've been wanting to do, and now you've just received this information and this confirmation, this validation, and you know what it's like when you get that and you get excited. And so then I was moving into this point where I'm creating this video out on my mountaintop at 10,000 feet in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, and as you can imagine, there are a lot of winds at the top of the mountain. And so I created this amazing video where I'm showing you magnificent Colorado, so near and dear to my heart. It's my home, and you can't hear me because of the wind. And so then my mind tries to figure out, how can I do this and tape over, and it's way too much work. And then all of a sudden it's not fun and playful anymore. And anything that I've learned in my life, anything at all, is if you're not having fun and you're not playing and it becomes work, you got to stop. You got to stop then and there, because you're done. It's not the path you're supposed to be on, because I've been on that path. And in fact, it seemed like for many years that if there was a harder, more difficult path, that's the path I would choose, because then at the end, after obtaining what I had sought, I would be able to proclaim that I was worthy and deserving of that. And I don't live by that bullshit anymore in my life. It's just, there's no time for that, quite honestly. As the planet is shifting and consciousness is raising and more light is coming and we're receiving more help from the non-physical, and more people are taking time to go within and tap into their inner guidance and their wisdom, things are changing, and it's changing quite rapidly. And some people are feeling a little bit beat up, in fact, because they're clinging, they're holding on to things that aren't serving them anymore. And it has been very evident in 2011 that if something is not authentic, if it's not genuine, if it's not acting in integrity, it simply just will no longer exist. Not in the new paradigm, not where we're heading, not with this new consciousness, because people aren't going to be able to show the world one part of themselves and hide who they truly are and act a completely different way than what they're telling people to behave. And behind the scenes, it's all different, or sometimes even up on stage, their behavior doesn't emanate the highest level of light and love that they are teaching from stage. And so that's not going to exist anymore, and it can't. And so if I'm going to go ahead and step into this master teacher role, I'm supposed to reach humanity, and the only way I really feel guided to do that is from my mountaintop, at home with my family, the people that mean the most to me in the world. This is where my heart is, and this is where I connect to nature, and this is where I do receive alignment that helps me to share information with others and hopefully make a difference. So you know, here I am. This is me. I'm Sabrina, and you know, you might already have kind of a glimpse of who I am just looking at this video for a few seconds. But in order to be authentic and to tell people who I am, you need to see all of me. And you know, you're not going to see all of me, but you're going to see most of me. And right now, I'm sure some of you are, wow, dealing with all this information that's flooding your head. All of a sudden, you have belief systems that might be challenged. You have stereotypes. You adore this because you too also express yourself through body art. Whatever, you name it, there's all kinds of things. People have filters. Perceptions are unique for a reason, because no two perceptions could ever be the same, because I've never walked in your shoes and you've never walked in mine. But we do get information all the time, and it's really up to us to start discerning that information. And when you are being bombarded by information, I just want to make sure you understand, for me, it was important to turn the news off. I do not watch the news. I haven't watched the news in at least 6 years, and have found that when I create my own life versus the life that is expected by the newscasts and what media propagates and programs us to believe, it's a whole different ballpark. It really is. It's amazing. Doing just that in your life, turning off the news, will make tremendous changes. Tremendous changes. Your life will be forever changed into something more fun and joyful and easier. I guarantee it. Just that little change. If that's all you get from this video, take that and do that. So in a day and age when we are being bombarded by that information, it is up to us to decide, is that information for us? I mean, it's amazing how quickly we'll make a snapshot judgment based on something that we just see and something that just came into our awareness without having all of the information. And we take things personally, and so we can step back from that and no longer take it personally, but get a broader perspective, bird's eye view. All those things that I went through, the struggle, the stress, the frustration, the anger, the substance abuse, the single mom at 19, the abusive marriage that ended in bankruptcy, you know, a lot of stuff. But then ultimately being able to all of a sudden manifest my soulmate connection, which came in the form of a tall, bald tattoo man. Well, he's a tattoo artist, in fact. Yes, and I am his canvas, and he reminded me who I was and that I was deserving of love. And all of a sudden my life started shifting in a whole new way, and I had self-esteem that I've never had before, and boy, love that I'd never felt before. And then the two of us have our little girl Tabitha together, and she is a bright light, just magnificent, and my teacher in so many ways. She really helped to remind me of who I am. And so then with my son David and my daughter Brandolyn, who is now 23 years old, and wow, you know, hard to believe that, you know, we grew up together. And this family means absolutely everything to me. And even though I didn't choose, and if you're counting, that means, yes, 3 fathers, 3 different fathers with 3 children, yet something, they're connected. That's not like a half-brother, half-sister. They're completely connected. And in fact, my husband Greg adopted my daughter Brandolyn. And it's amazing to see that he was always her father. It just took them 10 years to meet, you know. So as you can understand, my family means absolutely everything to me. And with their support, and even though they have looked at me quite strangely over the years, these recent years when I, you know, went into a healing modality, was waving my hands over people to bring about balance physically, mentally, emotionally, doing all those things, and they would look at me strangely once in a while, but still love me and accept me. And you know, I found that they were listening to the things that I was saying and that I was teaching, and so today they're thriving and they're amazing. You know, it's so heartwarming when you see the people that you care the most about letting go of old beliefs and ideas of who they are and stepping into who they truly are and showing up in this world and doing what they were meant to do and following their heart and finding joy and laughing and playing and allowing abundance to come easily. And it can, and it's possible, and I have seen it and I have done it, and I tried the hard way and it just wasn't a lot of fun. You know, stress, anxiety, frustration, road rage, you name it. A human resources career, and it called my heart for a long time. But when I made the proclamation after an incredibly stressful period of time in my life that there has to be more to life than this, because I was a type A control freak, you know, and I needed something to focus my attention on, to have the details, to have everything organized, to have everything in order, because I really honestly had this belief that if I could have everyone behave in the way that I thought was best, then everything would be right in the world. And boy, I tell you what, you can't approach life with that attitude for very long, because the interesting thing is, as you try to control things, the more things you try to control, the universe gives you more things to control, and pretty soon you are in this little juggling act, and it's going to come crashing down. And oftentimes when it does, it's because you've attracted disease like cancer, or had a sudden death in the family, something that got your attention, a traumatic event, an auto accident, rollover accident, which that's what happened to me. Losing control, go across the passenger side, end up over all four wheels. We are on all four wheels, and I had a mantra during that time, and it was, help us get through this, help us get through this, help us get through this. And I stated, if something happens to one of my daughters, I'm not staying. I am not staying, because I don't want to go through that. I can't even imagine. And so here we are on all four wheels, and I get out of the car and make sure my daughter Brandolyn and Tabitha, they're fine. Brandolyn's getting tapped out of the car seat. And I'm standing there on the highway, and I look up and I'm seeing the bluest sky I'd ever seen in my life, and smelling the freshest air I'd ever smelled in my life. And right then and there, life as I had known it was different. It was never going to be the same. And wonderful thing, we can connect to this universal field of light and information and energy and all good things, whatever you want to call it. Bring it into your life and introduce it and allow it to help you step into your more authentic self, and to let go of things easier, and to be more present, to show up in life, to share you with the world, because that's what you came here to do. You came here to play in this playground and to share you with the world. Now we've seemed to have lost sight of who we really are, and that's why I'm here, and I want to help people remember who you are, and that life is supposed to be easy, and it is supposed to be expressed with joy, and you don't have to prove yourself worthy, because you are worthy. And so just remember throughout the day, when things start to feel a bit overwhelming, in that moment, take a nice deep breath. Reconnect to who you are. And in that moment, let go and trust and allow that the intelligence of the universe has your back, has got you covered, and you can just relax a little bit into these changes that are happening naturally on the planet. Don't try to force anything to happen. Just play your way into it, love your way into it, laugh your way into it. And as you invite more joy and happiness into your life, I assure you, things are going to change. Now, I would be honored if you are open to me coming into your life on a more regular basis, providing teachings to you about what you can do as I share these wonderful, fascinating, colorful stories I have of my life and my past, because I have to give it all. I have to, you know, you can't just see the well-made, well-dressed businesswoman or tattooed woman or mother of three or wife or whatever perception you have of me. You have to see all of it, and that's what being authentic is all about. You get to show all of it, and that includes the vulnerability and the not so pretty things. But that's okay, that's what we do, and we'll support each other as we move forward on this journey with more fun, joy, and ease. And I thank you for sharing your precious time with me.